Ready to really dive into British English?
Yeah, let's do it.
This deep dive is all about helping you blend in.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing says local, like really nailing the slang. We
Right.
found this article about advanced British slang, and
Wow.
I'm talking beyond like the Cheerio and bangers and mash you see in the guidebooks.
Right, yeah.
This is about those subtle little words and phrases
Yeah.
that make your English,
Mm.
really sing with that British accent.
Exactly.
So we're thinking, like, you can know all the grammar rules,
Right.
but if you want to really understand the humor, the
Yeah,
wit, the
Absolutely.
heart of how Brits talk, slang is your secret weapon.
It is, it is.
So
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
we are going to focus on 3 words that really illustrate this.
Yeah.
Knackered, gutted, and dodgy.
Great words, yeah.
All right, so imagine
Okay.
you've just survived a day
Mm-hmm.
of hardcore London sightseeing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking not just a quick spin on the London Eye.
Right.
We're talking the full tourist experience.
Oh, yeah.
Double-decker bus.
Of course.
Changing of the guard. You even braved the Tower of London.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and let's not forget
let's not forget that queue for Buckingham Palace.
that queue at Buckingham Palace.
That's a rite of passage.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, by dinner time,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just be tired.
You
would be utterly
sword.
knackered. This is
Yeah.
beyond your average tired.
Yeah.
This is like,
Fixing.
think less, I need a nap, more, I need to be horizontal for a week.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Knackered.
Knackered implies this deep, bone-weary exhaustion.
Yes.
It's that feeling of being completely drained.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've run a marathon while simultaneously like solving
Wow.
complex mathematical equations in your head.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Or just survived being a tourist in London.
Exactly.
Speaking of intense experiences, let's talk about gutted.
Oh, gutted. Gutted is a fascinating one.
Oh, okay.
See, British culture
Yeah.
often values, politeness,
Mhm.
understatement,
Right.
especially in formal settings.
Very keep calm and carry on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But then they have these incredibly powerful, like emotionally charged words like
Yeah.
gutted, which really reveal the depth of feeling underneath.
So that's a shame. More catastrophic disappointment.
Exactly. Think of a time when you were deeply, truly like
Yeah.
let down, Your team loses in the final seconds of a championship game.
Yeah.
The job offer you were banking on falls through.
Right.
Those are gutted moments.
Oh, it's that feeling in the pit of your stomach that makes you want to curl up on the sofa and eat your weight in biscuits.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
And that brings us to our third word, dodgy.
Okay.
Now, dodgy is all about trusting your instincts.
Okay, I'm sensing a theme here. Strong emotions, vivid imagery.
Yes, absolutely. Give me an example. What's a dodgy situation?
Imagine you're walking down a street late at night.
Okay.
And something just feels off.
Right.
Maybe it's, a dark alleyway
Right.
or a group of people loitering on the corner.
That's your dodgy sense tingling.
So like a sixth sense for avoiding trouble.
Precisely.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be that dramatic, though.
Okay.
A dodgy situation could be as simple as
Yeah.
a street vendor selling something that seems a little too good to be true.
Right. Or that free wifey
Exactly.
that requires all your personal details.
Exactly. It's about recognizing those subtle cues
Right.
and trusting your gut instinct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking dodgy situations,
Yeah.
shady deals, that feeling that something just isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it's making me think twice about all those too good to be true deals you see online.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
You're starting to see the world through a slightly different lens.
Yeah.
A more British lens, if you will.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm building a mental toolkit for navigating British culture one slang word at a time.
I love it, yeah.
And speaking of tools,
Yeah.
this article mentioned that one of the best ways to master slang is to immerse yourself in British media.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Movies, TV shows,
Right.
music, they're all gold mines of authentic British slang.
Okay, so it's not just about watching The Crown and, pretending to sip tea with the Queen.
Well, you can do that too.
Okay,
But the key is to pay attention to how the characters speak,
yeah.
the words they use, the way they use language to express themselves.
You know what I find so fascinating is how these seemingly simple words,
Yeah.
like knackered, gutted, dodgy,
Right.
can completely change the tone and meaning of a sentence
Precisely.
Yeah.
They add a layer of nuance and subtext
Yeah.
that you just don't get with formal language.
Okay.
It's like the difference between reading a recipe
Yeah.
and actually tasting the food.
Okay, that's a delicious analogy.
Right.
So we've got the words, we're watching the shows.
Yeah.
How do we actually start using this slang in real life?
Right.
Because let's be honest,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that uses cheeky in every other sentence and ends up sounding like a walking stereotype.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Right.
Context is everything.
Okay.
It's like wearing a fancy suit to a casual barbecue. It just doesn't quite fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no top of the morning tea, Governor, when I'm ordering my coffee.
Definitely not.
It-
Start small, sprinkle it in naturally.
Okay.
A well-placed knackered after a long day of work will do wonders.
Right, because nothing says, I'm one of you, like bonding over shared exhaustion.
Exactly. Exactly.
But seriously,
Yeah.
this whole idea of sounding like a local,
Right.
is it really about mimicking accents and memorizing slang?
That's a really insightful question.
Yeah.
I think it's less about mimicry
Okay.
and more about understanding.
Okay.
It's about recognizing those subtle cues, those unspoken rules of communication
Right.
that really signal to someone that you get them,
Okay.
that you're on the same wavelength.
So it's less about sounding exactly like them and more about connecting with them on a deeper level.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about appreciating the nuances of their humor,
Yeah.
their cultural references, the way they use language to build relationships and navigate social situations.
So it's not just about the words themselves,
Right.
it's about understanding the culture behind the words.
Precisely. Think of slang as a secret code,
Okay.
a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of the culture itself.
And once you have that key, you can unlock a whole world of connection and understanding.
Exactly. You're not
Yeah.
just speaking the language.
Yeah.
You're speaking their language.
Right.
And that, my friend, is a beautiful thing.
It strikes me that learning slang
Yeah.
is kind of like being invited to a secret society.
Yeah.
You get to learn the handshake,
Yeah.
speak the lingo, and
Yeah.
suddenly you're in the know.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights something really crucial about language learning.
Okay.
It's not just about memorizing vocabulary and
Oh,
grammar rules, right?
right.
It's about understanding the cultural context
Okay.
in which those words and phrases are used.
Right, because knackered means so much more than just tired,
Exactly.
doesn't it? It speaks to a whole culture of, stiff upper lips and understated emotions.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And when you understand those nuances,
Yeah.
you're not just speaking the language.
Right.
You're connecting with the very heart of the culture itself.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on British slang,
Yeah.
what's the key takeaway for our listener?
Ooh.
If they want to sound less like a tourist and more like a local,
Okay.
where do they start?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think that the most important thing is to approach language learning with a sense of curiosity and playfulness.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment,
Right.
to make mistakes,
Yeah.
to have fun with it.
Because let's face it, even if you accidentally call someone chuffed when you meant to say gutted,
Right.
chances are they'll appreciate the effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most people are incredibly forgiving
Right.
when they can see that you're genuinely trying to learn their language
Sure.
and understand their culture.
And who knows, you might even end up teaching them a thing or two about their own language along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Language is a living, breathing thing,
Yeah.
constantly evolving and changing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it so fascinating to study.
Well said.
Thank you.
So to our listener out there, keep exploring,
Yeah.
practicing,
Please.
and most importantly, keep having fun with it.
Yes, have fun.
Because the more you immerse yourself in the world of British slang,
Right.
the more you'll discover about the richness and complexity of the English language
Absolutely.
and the vibrant culture that it represents.
It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
Yeah.